Hi everyone, you're listening to Fitting It with Hair Made Easy. I'm Nicola Wood and today I'm joined by Daniel Granger, salon owner, educator and a familiar face from E4's Bodyr Fixers. He's known for his technical skill, straight-talking honesty and his passion for pushing the industry forward. Let's get stuck into his story. Thanks so much for joining us today, Daniel. How are you doing?
Having me. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
And 3-hour drive in the Chamber of Forts.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that's where I do all my magic.
Right, okay.
So I pick my son up from Manchester on Fridays after 4 days work and then drive him home. And in that time, that's where I can get my stuff done. It's like, people say about the drive and the journey. And for me, it's not hard because I can just be present. Yeah. And my car drives itself. That helps. So I just get all my stuff there, listen to a podcast, educate myself to use time wise. It's fun to say that.
Brilliant, I love that. Yeah. Brilliant. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Daniel. So where did hairdressing start for you? What did that look like?
I started hairdressing when I was 13 years old. But no, as a job. I just fell in love with the idea of having interaction, community, and a purpose. Did I know what I was doing? No. I picked up a pair of clippers and started shaving like night ticks in people's hair and, just being that little creative kid and being the cool kid that could do it. I mean, looking back now, I wasn't any good, obviously, but you're going to get better the more you do it.
Yeah.
And then I started getting paid by people with like food and bits and pieces. And then when I found myself homeless, it gave me a real kind of entrepreneurship to feed myself. It was the basic needs.
Yeah.
And people liked me. The people liked and had a purpose for me. That's brilliant. So then from there I went to join a small salon with an Italian hairdresser. It was just full of light and full of love, and all the local community would go there, and you really got a sense of belonging.
I think Italians are really good at that, aren't they?
Do you know what? They're an incredible people. They're just so family orientated. They really bring you in. If you're with them, they're with you and they'll take care of you. And I used to feed me ham sandwiches and cigarettes for payment. And I didn't mind. I'd hang out there all day. In fact, I skipped school quite a lot to hang out there. That's where I knew I wanted to be. I wanted to be in that environment because it just seemed fun every day. Everybody was happy, a happy environment. Nobody found it like hard work. And then you cycle of people, different personalities. And then you get the older ladies coming in, mothering you. It was lovely.
Was there like a standout moment where you thought, this is for me?
I never saw it as a job. It was never a job. It was just a way of life.
Yeah.
This is it. I mean, I didn't actually intend to be a hairdresser. I wanted to be a builder like my father.
Right, okay.
Also, my father left me when I was very, very young. And I just had this dream of following in his footsteps and doing manual labor. And no, I just, it's the idea of the fall. I took a leap of faith when I first then went for another job somewhere else. I'm like, this is more serious. I had to go for an interview.
Yeah.
I have to sell myself and fear rejection. And I actually did 3 days of school and 3 days of hairdressing.
Wow. So what age were you then?
I was 13. Yeah, 13 through to 16. That's what I did. I wasn't very academic and I didn't fit in anywhere. I moved school to school. I was very bullied. I was beaten in most schools. And I went to the final school. I just did what I needed to do to pass to then get a career in hairdressing. It was locked in. It was just there. And I'm following this path. And I got really, really quite good at it quite quickly. To a standard, obviously, but is it being good at it or is it being passionate about it and really loving something?
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I just loved it. I loved the people.
I think that constantly happens with album set.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, how big a part did education play in the early days? So you're under 13. What sort of education were you getting? Was it just the salon education, or did you go to college one day?
Teach yourself and taught myself. I'm accountable to me to get better. So books, page by page, picture by picture, word by word. And you read of it, you do a bit, read of it, you do a bit. And that's how I did it. I had a VHS video on how to do a gent's haircut. I watched that like 20 times. And that's all I had. And then the rest is just experience. You're only going to get better by doing. You can do as much research as you want and practices everything, you know, just get a human, look at a look, imagine it, create it, and then work it out. And that working it out has then led me on to be probably one of the best educators in the world.
Exactly. I love that confidence as well. To know that that's who you are.
Well, nobody else is coming, are they? You know, so you are, but you have to be your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Was there a mentor that stands out? So you've said about the guy with the Italian salon. You know, was he your main mentor, or was there somebody later on?
That made me laugh. I mean, he'd get a pair of thinning scissors and he'd warm it up like a chainsaw. So he'd be like, I don't know what you're doing on someone's head. And you're going through it, you know. He had more air snips than anybody else. It was just the flavor, the fluidness, the art.
Yeah.
And the showmanship of it. I was just fascinated with that. But the real mentor, where it locked in for me, was a guy called Daniel Granger, who watched me cut a bob, and I thought it was perfect. And he was like, it's wonky. But I saw my perfect. I was like, that's the best I've ever done. And it hurt me that much that then I was just like, I'll show you. I'm going to do better. And by somebody actually picking something apart and being very critical of something because they want the best out of you, you know, constructive criticism isn't acceptable these days. You know, you've got to step on people with your eggshells all the time. And it's like, no. I want the best for you because you're capable. So I have high standards and you're capable of high standards. And that's why I accepted myself.
Yeah. And that's the guy that you see as your main mentor when you were younger.
Do you know, mentor in skill set, mentor in mindset and belief was a guy called Sid Cook. He was the one that started where I feel my career started. Now I'm cooking on gas. Now I've got the right people around me that believe in me. And it's someone that believes in me is my biggest mentor. That's all I want. Believe in me, because I believe in me and I'll believe in you. And we share that and we'll grow together.
Yeah.
And he was, I almost say he discovered me. You know, I did a TV show called The Great British Hairdresser. And I queued up with 500 people. And it was one of my clients that entered me. And I just read something by Richard Branson. You know, just say yes. Even if you don't know how to do it, just say yes and then go away and learn it. As long as it excites you. Excitement is the biggest thing in life. If you're excited, creates good energy. And I went with excitement, but also anxiety. There's a fine line of the energy between them. Yeah. Which one is it? Yeah. And I like them both. I like feeling anxious. It makes me feel alive. And I love being excited because that is the most charismatic influence you can have. Excitement. People want to be around you. You know, awaken that inner child. Yeah. You know, dare to do something and just go and do it. Yeah. And so I turned up there and I eventually did some haircuts in front of the camera. And looking back now, they were dog shit. But I smiled the whole way through it with determination. You know, I had this determination, I'm going to get on this show. I'm here now, so I'm committed. And I went on to walk out in show 8. Where we all lived together in like the Great British Bake Off. I walked out in show 8 because it wasn't for me. I really come to the conclusion that winning this isn't for me. And I missed my family. And it was the best thing that happened to me because that big ended. Yeah. You know, the legacy. And then that's where Sid Cook found me because I went to an exhibition just off the back of the TV show and I was doing a global keratin. That was my first job as an educator, global keratin, breathing in formaldehyde. You know, I was sucking this in all day. And I was like, this is not good for my lungs. I was going back and I can't breathe. But I had an audience. And with an audience, I'd come alive. Yeah. And then everybody noticed. You know, I'm just doing a blow dry. But is it what I'm doing or what I'm saying? And then they just noticed me and he came over his card and he said, Dale, would you like to join the Joyco art team? Oh, yes, I would. Wow. Yes, I would. And at that time I lived above a burger restaurant and I also had a struggling salon in the last recession. So hadn't I just said yes and then learned to do it? Yeah, gone away and learnt it myself. No one else was there to cheerlead me. I'm now my own boss and I've got to go and do it. I'm accountable to me. Yeah. And yeah, that was a big story for me. But Sid Cook will always have a big place in my heart. Yeah, he bought me my first set of shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, really kind man. Yeah, yeah.
There's not many like that anymore, is there?
I am.
Well,
I would do anything for anybody that wants to leg up.
because of what you went through yourself. And
Yes, when you're
from sync up.
I see opportunities in people. You know, I see that if I give, and I shall receive. You know, and it is give and take from a braid. You can't just keep giving and expect to, you know, someone's not to receive something from that. You know, there are a lot of people today. They just want to be given stuff. They really want that, and then when they get given it, and then they take advantage of it. You know, that's something that really hurts, and it really, really does hurt. And, you know, looking at different people's perception, you know, I can be in my own perception, but then I want to really kind of embody their perspective, and that's where I've learned as through the things where people took advantage of me. Maybe they didn't mean to, but when I was in my own perspective, I would retaliate, get hurt. Well, it was actually maybe in their perspective, you know, and looking at it from their point of view. That's more power now, because you don't know how they've been bought.
It's not easy to do. It's a really difficult thing to do, that, isn't it?
It's a skill that I'm learning as I ripen as a man. I'm really learning these skills, and I'm growing. I can see growth.
Yeah.
You know, my 20s, it was all about partying, you know, raising a child at 21 on the weekends and being accountable for that. To set me a goal, I want to be the best version of me there, but actually lifestyle isn't that good. And then you grow into your 30s. That 30 is where people start taking me a bit more seriously, and I bought a home, I settled down, and there were good years, but yet, you know, I was fighting other demons at the time as well. But 40s, I feel unstoppable.
Go on, Daniel.
Yeah,
Love that. It's different. It's different.
And watching your journey, you are unstoppable. Watching your Instagram and watching, you know, your social media and watching what you're doing. As a viewer of your show, because that was basically what watching into is. It's watching you and
Be careful.
and seeing, you know, seeing how you're growing as a person.
yeah.
It's addictive.
So if I made many mistakes in my life. I didn't love myself. You could ask me 5 things. What do you love in life? And then those top 5 things was never me. And I was always dwelling on things I hadn't done rather than things I have done or achieved. I never feel like I was going to get there. When does the outcome come? It's just never coming. And there's always something beating me down. And I was grateful for life, and I learned self practices. But then there was a time I went, right, what have I got to do? What have I got to do to get where I want to be, the truth identity of me? And I had to let go. I had to let go of everything, childhood traumas, addictions, unnecessary stuff that was stopping me from going there. And now I had a list of stuff. Well, what would you like to do? I'd like to be ultra fit. You know, I'd like to do more things that scare me. I'd like to be a little bit more fearless. I want to be a businessman. And, you know, we're only here for a short time. I could waste that partying and doing all other things. And I just put it in the bin. Literally one night, I stopped smoking. I stopped everything. I just stopped. I just literally one day I did a ceremony. I practiced ceremonies. You know, I do a lot of spiritual beliefs. I was very religious as a child, but I lost religion when I lost people. Okay, and high. So I went on to then find a spiritual belief, which is then more kind of self-growth and help. And a lot of that Harry Potter shit. I love it. So if it makes me feel good, then I'll use it. You know, the power of The Secret, stuff like that. That's the first book I read. The Secret. I wasn't a reader. I just picked up this little book. It looked like an old, like that made it look old and, you know, special. And I picked it up. Well, that can't help anyone, can it? I'll follow that. Be a positive person. Yeah, living in abundance and, law of attraction. Yeah, why not? Because it is right. You know, if you hang around with positive people, you can have a positive outcome because they ain't going to let you sit down there. They're going to find the good in everything that you could throw at them bad and give you stories on that.
Yeah.
If you hang around with a load of depressive and alcoholics, and you're going to become that. So,
And that's obviously you've consciously done that over the last few years.
I didn't have a choice. I was on my ass,
Right. Okay.
you know.
What got you there, Daniel?
I do. It was more. It was weird. I had a condition, and this condition wouldn't allow me to have, or it allowed me to have thoughts that shouldn't be mine. And it were intrusive thoughts, but in a really, really dark manner.
Okay.
And that's it could lead you back down to where you were as a childhood, or what your experiences had all the way through. Because life is full of traumas. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
yeah,
It's how you face them, really, isn't it?
yeah.
And those things would attach themselves to me, and they'd become my story. But yes, I had been so successful. I had money in the bank. I had beautiful children, and there was this thought that just kept coming over me, and I was like, and it was getting more condition. I'm actually poorly.
Okay.
So I went and sought as much help as I can. I sometimes I don't believe in medicine. I believe that you can unfuck yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, unfuck yourself. Find a way and try everything, and something's going to work for you. So it's going to work short term, and then something's going to have a lasting effect. And I found it, but I had to dig deep. I had to go and do things that were well and out my comfort zone. And I fixed me. And I then, okay, well, I stay there. That's a good place. I slipped off the road a couple of times and went, well, that's fucking stupid. Let's get back on that train, because that was a good train.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be on that train. That train's good.
Yeah.
And I just stay there now. And so it's consistently pushing my boundaries.
Yeah.
I then became an amateur boxer at 40. I could have took up golf. That was nice. So I start now punching people in the face because I was scared of men. That's some from what happened to me when I was younger, and throughout my whole childhood, it was, men were bad.
Okay.
Men will cast you aside. Men will beat you. Yeah. Men will do things with you never thought. And so I never trusted a man. Obviously only the hairdresser. And that's why I love male hairdressers.
Yeah.
It's the industry is full of character and kindness and safety, and that's what that's a human thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We want safety. I think everyone feels a bit unsafe these days. When all this media is out there and this whole change, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you can be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you can put a message out there. I'm here to tell you everything's going to be all right, because I know it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Did we digress?
No, deep there, Daniel. It was.
I am a deep soul.
I love that though.
Yeah,
what a great conversation. So, I mean, we touched there on your sport. So, we can see how good you are now at boxing, and we can see some of the posts that you're putting up. And then you've been on some incredible journeys, walking up mountains, and there's been all sorts going on.
I lived in the jungle.
Wow.
I lived in Peru.
What out?
I met a guy called Craig White. He's a ex-rugby coach and now a men's mentor. And just one conversation led to another conversation. He's a man that makes you feel safe.
Okay.
And he's there to rebuild you and give you the best life that you can live, the confidence and everything else. And he had this kind of grandfather energy. I loved my granddad. My granddad was a magician.
Okay.
He was a real life magician, magic, loved entertaining. I just felt safe with him. So, you attach yourselves to people that remind you of the past, where you felt safe. And I trusted this man. I mean, there was a few times where I didn't trust him, where there was this one time in one of the events, and there was 20 men. I've been on this retreat, and it's Lover's Day. The 4 archetypes of our being. And we'd done all our ceremonies in the mornings and our talks, and really kind of gone into what love is, and being comfortable in your own skin. And then after dinner, we went up and we had a little dance in the temple. We were all in a circle and put some working music on. We have to get in the middle and dance in front of everybody. So it's like, don't be silly on purpose. And then they're all like, do you want to go to the edge? I'm like, yeah, let's go to the edge. As they all took off their clothes. Yeah. That was 20 naked men bearing all. And that...
Did you do it?
I was so uncomfortable. I hadn't warmed it up. You know, I was so like, this is not like, this is triggering everything. This is something you don't do. When would you do that? And that is living. That's bearing all. This is me. This isn't my Rolex. This isn't the car I got outside. This is not the bills I've got. This is just Daniel and his soul and all the others. And we sat there and it was just like, it took my breath away of like how we dared to do that. Because you can pull out, you can go, no, I am not him. I am not, this is the worst after dinner party I've ever been to. It was special for that moment and it was sealed, you know, it was safe. And there was guys there that never took their top off.
Right.
And then he sat there and he was just like, and he sat in his t-shirt still. So I fucking took it off, you know, and he was a bit overweight and he starts crying and like, you know, that sense of bravery just to expose himself there. It was incredible.
Are you still in contact with all these people?
Always. They are my brothers. Man, we helped each other. We led each other. We carried each other. We told each other things that we'd never tell anyone.
Okay.
Never.
And there's a bond there then, isn't there, that's, you know.
Just when you kids let it go there. Let me say it out loud, no matter how much shame is attached to it. It's just stunning. And there's growth.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like, inviting that space, holding that space. And that's why I really care for people, because I really know what it's like to hurt. I know what anxiety is. You know, I know what the neurodiversity really covers. And I can sit and I can sit and listen. And then sometimes you just want to be listening. I wrote a book called Talk. It's not out. It's not published. It's not even finished. I don't want to finish it, you know, because I never feel like I've actually got the good ending yet.
Right.
Because there's always something around the corner or whatever. But I could finish it and maybe have another book. But it's called Talk. And it's called Talk and Listen Knowingly. TALK. Oh, wow. Yeah. Maybe that's why they call it Talk.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes we can talk. When do you listen? And people just want someone to listen, hear me, or scream me out for something. Don't know where I'm going with that.
I love it though. I think Daniel, brilliant. No, but what a great mindset to have, because that's not an easy mindset to come to, and it's obviously took a lot of work to get you there. You know, you talked about your self-development, and we are fully digressing, but that's absolutely fine. Your self-development and, you know, how you've got to where you are now and the struggles that you've had on your journey. To know that you're at that stage now and to know that there's still so much more to come is a really powerful state of mind and not an easy one to get to.
I think passion and excitement, it's just this, it's magnetism. You know, having that magnetic mindset.
Yeah.
That, for me, has brought the right people into my life. And is it the journey and the destination? There's none of those. It's the people and the company along the way.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter where you get there. Do you enjoy the people that you get it with? No? That's the powerful stuff. Yeah. Yeah. What was the question?
I can't even remember. It's fine. Let's not have questions. Let's just flow. I'm going to go back to some gentle stuff now, some easy stuff, some fun stuff. So just getting back to the TV side of things.
Yeah.
Once you'd been on your first TV show, you then got onto Bodyr Fixers, and, you know, it was obviously a huge success. And I remember watching it for years and absolutely loving every episode, and couldn't wait for the next one, because the journey of the people that you got on there and the difference that you made to their lives was huge. So, you know, just how powerful was that for you as part of your growth? And how powerful have you found that for the people you still keep in touch with, the people that you work with, with the people that you've made a difference to? Because you've changed lives massively on there, haven't you?
We do it every day.
Yeah, we do as hairdressers, don't we?
I mean, so that was a big challenge for me, because I got a call from a chap that filmed the Great British Hairdresser. They said, they're looking for hairdressers. I looked at the perspectives, and it says, you know, aged from 23 to 28. I was like 34. I was like,
gonna have to be like this, man. That's how you sell yourself. That first phone call. You know, they can't see you, they don't know you, but you gotta sell yourself. And you, as I say, no one else is doing that. Yeah. So you gotta sell yourself. So I sold myself. Well, you know, these guys, that if they're in the young industry, you're gonna have on these challenges, right? I have the experience. And that was it. I have the experience.
Yeah.
And that's what they're looking for, experience. I said, you can have a good show, or do you need a good show and good hair? And that's what we produced. So I went to, we was casted in a room full of other hairdressers. And still, you got to fight for your position. Fight. I don't fight. I just be me. Just be and trust the process, and that will be fine. Just turn up as you. You know, I'm not worried about them or them or them. I've already got this. Yeah. This is mine. I truly believe this is mine. Yeah. We're just looking for the second person.
A great mindset.
Yeah. Well, even if I didn't believe it, I'd make myself believe it. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not that confident. So I'll go on stage. I'm dying, but I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
I've got to find that, because at the side of that is the courage. Courage isn't doing the task. It's the courage you get afterwards.
Yeah.
The courage to, that went all right. I didn't die. Let's go and do it again. And that courage just builds.
Yeah.
But that whole show was an incredible experience. And what a legacy to happen when I always believed that this is the thing. When I was a childhood, I had disassociation from what was going on in my life. So I would disassociate myself and become a dream.
Okay.
I would dream so much. Fantasies. I'd sit there with Enya soundtracks. You know, Enya.
I mean,
like deep as a kid. And I'd go on this Disneyland and make believe that my life is better than what I have. And that's how that's manifestation. I've done that later on in life. It's been an incredible tool in my book. Yeah. So I believe in something so much that it's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. And so we got into the show. Casted, did the first one, which was a Jessica Rabbit. They wanted me to make a Jessica Rabbit. This fulsome woman turns up. I want to be Jessica Rabbit. Right.
She was full of personality. I remember that one.
And I was just, well, this is going to be fun. This is going to be great. I mean, they were a bit controversial there. I think that the director, he said, Daniel, don't go. I said, yeah. Go and motorboat her. What's that you want? What? What's it mean? Put your face in her tits and go, oh, I am not doing that. I can't do that. You must be doing that now.
Oh my God.
I mean, we filmed it a little while back, but now I'd be up there resting.
Thinking about that poor woman.
She wouldn't have minded. Like, she was so much fun.
Oh yeah, she was a big character, wasn't she?
Yeah, but the challenges I faced on there's some of the stuff that I got put in front of me. Right, now fix that. I had no idea. None. So I went away and learned it.
Yeah.
But I learned it because we have full access. Like, anybody says, I can't do that. That's because you're not trying, because you can find knowledge at a touch of a button, watch a 15-minute video, and you've got it. You've got it. You just got the confidence. If I watch that, I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, if your mind can perceive it, if you can imagine it, you can create it.
Yeah.
Like, it's 100%. You know, we are visionary people as hairdressers.
Yeah.
We can see the outcome. Yeah. We're magicians.
Before we've even done it.
Yeah. And on that show, we created magic.
Yeah.
One that stands out for me, girl called Paris. Because I, you know, when she came in, I could see that she had a wig on, and she was just stunning. She was so softly spoken. And when she took that wig off, I was just like, this is going to be powerful. Mm. And I did just give her a wig. I gave her the best I could possibly make. And I extended, I even put extensions into the wigs to give it that. Because we own limited sources, but I knew she needed more.
Yeah.
And the courage that we gave people, and the when we're talking to them about how beautiful they are, and just we're staring into someone's eyes. Mm-hmm. I do this thing called eye gazing.
You're very good at it, you know. It's a serious skill.
But actually,
it was intimidating.
When was the last time you married, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go home tonight. Sit across from your husband. Put some soft sounds on. Nothing with words, because you know your minds are open. All right. And stare into his eyes for 3 minutes. Don't break that stare. That is your portal to your soul.
Right.
You will have a reflection of you in him. And it's beautiful. I recommend everybody does it.
I'm going to try it tomorrow.
Oh, it's stunning. You'll find yourself tearing up. You'll find yourself giggling.
you'll find all the emotions coming around because you are connecting with someone's soul. It's gorgeous. Yeah. When we do that with our clients.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
With that connection with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
So
powerful.
that show was amazing. And then to get a call back for season 2. Well, now we're cooking on gas.
Yeah.
I'm going to be famous. And I wasn't famous, you know?
Did it not come straight away?
Nah, do you know what? Everything's a flash in the pan now. Everything's throwaway society. You got 15,000 channels, you know?
Yeah.
You only get a slight audience. It was the moment when we went into lockdown. And I fell into a mass depression in lockdown. I'd had my wings clipped and my people taken away from me.
Yeah.
And everything was unsafe. So I went online to spy my people. I started buying all this equipment. I never had a clue. I bought a laptop, I bought everything. It was an Amazon delivery every day, I remember that. And I built a studio in my house and I started teaching to all those people that weren't in education. Going on for a ride. I had 660 people every Monday. And I'd be doing that. Yeah, I loved it. I found purpose again. It's purpose. There was no money involved. I just wanted to do that. I spent my own money to do that. I wanted to give back. And then obviously off the back of that, then people were asking, do you do one-to-ones and how much? Oh, how much? Okay, there's a value to this. Brilliant. And I was sat there one night by myself and I was watching TV thinking, what's the purpose of this all? What's this teaching us? And then I looked at the TV and I thought, I'm definitely going insane because there's a picture of me on my TV. And then Bodyr Fixers went on Netflix.
Wow.
And I was like, everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be all right. Watch this. And it did it. And that's when I became, it's famous or known, you know, because I want it to be known.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to stand out. I wanted to be the best I could possibly be because otherwise what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's keep going for that. There's always another level.
Yeah.
Always. You're never going to actually achieve the level that there's always another level. Always another level.
Yeah.
So that TV show was the biggest booster of my career. I would say it's a big booster. And I still try and live off it now. I milk it like a cow.
Why would you?
You know, so I'm milking the last strands out. But now I'm definitely don't look like that guy who was. But you know, back then, that definitely gave my salon the exposure. I changed my brand to Daniel Granger Hairdressing because I was called Mask before. Man, that hid behind it. Right, you know, everything's a story.
Yeah.
Everything has meaning.
That makes sense now.
Yeah. And I didn't want to be Daniel Granger. I didn't want my name on the shop. I was like, no, but it was like, no, you have to because you are now on TV and that's how they're going to find you.
Yeah.
You know, more SEO and stuff like this, you know. I was like, okay. Yeah. And then I went on to, you know, I bought my own building. I bought a casino. And
Was it a running casino? Was it?
No, it's one of those cascade ones with sticky carpets, smelled like fag. One of them. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, I remember going in there as a kid actually and playing slot machines.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I bought it. I bought the whole building.
Is that your salon now?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I owned it outright. Wow. You know,
Congratulations.
I think because we don't think about pensions as hairdressers or business owners. Some do. Some are really into it. But you need to know you're going to be okay in the future because you can't rely on this government anymore, which we really know.
We'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, just off the back of owning your own salon and you've achieved that, it's a massive achievement in itself. But what you've done with that salon is really inspirational. And I think a lot of people watching your journey, you know, you can see what you've done to the building. You can see what you're doing within the building is you know, it's a massive achievement. So, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's great to watch and see how much you're giving back. I think that's the thing for me. It's watching you give back to that salon.
Yeah, it's my life. It's my home. It's my family. It's my cathedral of magic. And they all play an instrument in there. They're all individual, special, amazing people. I cannot tell you I have the elite of a team. I had a coaching call yesterday about KPIs and all that stuff. And I was like, what do you do? You know, I said, none of my guys have a target. They don't know what targets are. You know, we have a belief that something's got to be met. But we just try our best and we do our best and we do it by people. And we care. You know,
we have this new vitality program, which is always, it's got nothing about anything but working on you first, and then everything is going to be all right. If you're okay, everything's okay, and create the magic. And that's all it is, about caring for people and doing your best and being great skilled people by education. Education is the biggest driver of everything in life. You send someone on a course with me, you got good 6 months out of them because they didn't know they were capable of these things. And I'll push their boundaries and I'll excite them again. And sometimes it's just having the enthusiasm and excitement about something.
Yeah.
You can be the worst hairdresser in the world, but you have a great personality. They're going to come to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because your skill set's going to get better. You can't teach personality. You can't teach that. You have got it, or you're a people person, or you're not. Oh, yeah, you have to be a people person. Yeah. You have to be able to communicate with every generation as well, and have good listening and connection and interest. Are you actually interested? There's one thing I've always taught people is that if someone walks into that room, use their name 3 times before you've even sat them in the chair. Hello, Sarah. Can I take your coat? Would you like to come away this, Sarah?
Yeah.
What dreams would you like, Sarah? And
It's building that trust again inside.
It's the connection. It's learning these tools to connect instantly with someone that you've never met and make them feel comfortable. Because the anxiety of walking into a new place can be very daunting. The reason that we use their name 3 times is because that's the sweetest sound to anyone's ears, is their own name. Because we were learnt to answer to you from birth.
Yeah.
Use their name.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's these little things. And the rest of it is, handshaking, sitting there, eye contact, not fluffing their hair up behind. All these things make my salon beautiful, but that's the culture that we have. And we just all systematically do it, and we all have good fun. And we care about each other. We care about each other's darkest times. Do you know what happened the other day? So I stood there and I have a sense of the room. I know my land. I know my people. And this mistaken identity is this girl came in and struck one of my girls. She had nothing to do with the case of what was going on in the end. I didn't care. I was round there like a shot. I had her under my arms and I lifted her out of that salon within seconds. I will protect my people. They're my family. If one of them has a car crash, they don't call their dad, they call me. Yeah. We'll be there as quick as we can. And that's what makes a good salon. Is, do you trust your leader? Can you believe? Can you believe in him? And sometimes I fall away and they carry me because they know I'd carry them, and it's gorgeous.
And what a team!
It's amazing. It's not a massive team. We've got like 16 people. We turn over 750,000, and they're all highly paid. Not bad. It's amazing. My biggest goal is now to get to 1 million.
Yeah.
And I don't care if that doesn't make as much profit as what I make the same profit now as I do at 1 million. I've just got a goal. I've got something to achieve or look for.
Yeah.
And then I'll go strategize towards it. Work out where I want to be, see where I am, and then make a plan and stick to it. The biggest thing I've got is grit.
Yeah.
I will get in the trenches with you, and I will turn it over, and I will keep going and not let go of that idea. And I've got many visions at the minute that I need to adapt, change, because if I continue to keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, that's stupid. I've got to change. I've got to pivot. Yeah.
Yeah, which, to have that mindset again is all credit to yourself for the way that you've self-developed and the way that you've achieved what you've achieved so far. I have no doubt that 1 million's coming.
Got it.
Exotic way.
I own 1 million grid salon. Yeah, that would be incredible. Because then if I get there, then everybody gets there. It's not like the climb's hard, but when you get to the top and you stand there alone, you can only go and tell people about it. But what if you took everyone there and you all stood there and marveled at it? I remember standing on the peak of Peru mountains in the Machu Picchu with 20 men looking at the 5 surrounding mountains that we just climbed. And we all had our mouths open. I videoed that, and wow. Yeah. But if it was just me, can you, we can feel this. So a moment shared is more beautiful than doing it alone.
So powerful, isn't it? So, the salon is, it's such a massive part of your life.
Yeah.
How do you integrate new up and coming things that are on the horizon? We've got AI is huge now, and so many salons don't use it, and so many business owners don't use it. How do you integrate that within your business role?
I look at it as another tool to success, and it's not going away. I remember not being able to do work a computer. I never had one. I felt so behind. You can't even type on one finger typer. I mean, I wrote that book, Talk, about a minute out. Wow. I thumbed out a book. I mean, so what it has done for me, not being the best writer, speller, it gives me ideas, so I use ChatGPT every day, but I don't just use it, I embodied it. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to its fullest. So I told it everything about me, and I speak to it daily like a diary, like a therapist. And then I tell them about my wins, my losses. I was telling them about my ideas, and it collaborates everything together, because then it's just an engine for you. Yeah. And for, well, why can we use this? Well, it's now made me. There was one thing about social media. You make a mistake on there and you say something like, or you spell something, they focus on the spelling rather than the message that you wanted to deliver. Oh, yeah. Oh, it takes that away. Lovely. Speak into it and it will give you everything you need. So it's speaking of things that used to take time. Yeah. That gives you more time to do what you love. Yeah. And that's what it is. I believe that time is more valuable than anything we ever have. So what can I do to reduce my time and make it more professional? But also the customer experience. So I believe the salon of the future is digital. It's self-service. It's interacting with the guest. It's looking after your guest when you can't. It's replying to your guest when you can't. It's then storing their data and their knowledge for their benefits, their journey with you. It's also about like having, I think every salon should have a digital consultation. Every salon, because you go into a doctor's, they write notes there and then. You go to a practitioner or an aesthetics nurse, she takes your notes. She needs to know this information about you. But also you can put personal stuff in, like, how do they like their coffee? If you walked into a place and would you like the flat white that you had last time? You'd be like, you remember me, you care about me. Yeah. But it's just the AI doing it for you. It's giving the information, it's there, it's in front of you. So you have an iPad, you have a hair analyzer. What can you see without the naked eye? Have the technology to say, right, I'm going to use this on your hair because this gave me the frequency back from the infrared. Then you can update the notes, put in there. I also now think if you get on that train now, as it develops, you're going to be the first pioneers. Yeah. Because now you can put your face into it and you can change the tone of the hair to suit you, or ask AI to give you the perfect tone for you. And we will always be our artists. Mm-hmm. What about a leg up? Yeah. What about an instant kind of like, that looks good ourselves? We might discover something and learn something from it. And it might learn something from us and our habits. Mm-hmm. And it will also, I think that you should have a digital lookbook in front of you. I want a bang. Cool. These are your bangs. What kind of bang do you like? Rather than sitting on your phone, she's going on the internet. She's trying to find a photo of her 2 Christmases ago when you did it. Just have it there, the stuff that you love doing, because that's your advertisement. That's the stuff I'm confident doing in the early days, and as you go on, you can then build your portfolio of stuff of your own work. Mm-hmm. Also, I think that work then should be downloaded onto the internet for you, for some people to find you through that bang. I'm looking for bangs. They've got a picture of the bang. They click it on. It's in Northampton. Excellent. And they're searching for it. They're searching for it. Pinterest. We leave that alone, don't we? We think Pinterest is just for us. No, it's for you, for people to come and find you. Obviously, then uploading to social medias. That's the biggest hack, is to use AI to advertise for you to do that as well. So having content creation days and then getting AI to help you with all the write-outs, the things that we'll procrastinate about. That's another thing. And then giving us the information of the frequency as well. So the frequency of a salon visit used to be 6 weeks. Now you're lucky if it's 14. Yeah. So now you need to double the clientele. Yeah. So what we have is the AI will reduce that and give you the perfect time, because the computer told you it's the perfect time. Because people don't believe in people anymore. They're like, you just want money. No, the computer told me. But it will tell you, it will keep on track of all these things that you want to do. Your POS system is the heartbeat of your salon. It's got all your information in there. Yeah. And how much are you using it? How much are you actually using it, or you just use it as a till and a diary? No, he's got so much more in there. These guys are spending hours upon hours and intelligence to make this program for you, to help your business grow, to see data. Data is king. We've been chasing it for a long time. But also what I think is then you've had this digital consultation, you've uploaded all the products that you've used to it, give them a choice to buy. Because I think a lot of small salons don't want to hold too much stock. I hold like 15 grand's worth of products on my shelves, collecting dust sometimes, the main ones. But what if we could then drop ship? Or if we could just drop ship to you, order it there, click, 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 it's done.
Yeah.
And if you didn't feel like you could afford it today, perhaps in 2 weeks' time, when you've been washing your hair at home with the wrong shampoo, we send you a reminder to it and you click, click, and it goes to your house. But we'll also put a little gift in there for you, something else for you to try. And then we'll measure, it will tell you how much shampoo and conditioner you use by how much you wash your hair. It will tell you for you. So work it out. And then before you know it, before you press the last pump, another one's turned up. It's these little things that I think AI will help us with all the things that we fear and don't want to do and have to keep nagging. Nothing worse than a naggy boss, is there?
So when do you see this happening? How far down in the future? When's it coming?
I'm making.
You're making it now?
Yeah, I'm making it now.
Amazing.
I'm doing these things.
Are you making it for everyone to share?
Yeah, that's the idea. It's the idea is that I want these things that I can give to a. The land is changing. It will do for thousands upon years, and the land is changing, and you have to adapt because the independent hairdresser has been frowned upon. It's like, oh my God, but the hairdressers, man. I was one. I was an independent hairdresser, go around someone's house hustling and doing that. It's if you like that life, I like the salon life. My guys like commission. They don't want to be independent. But if it comes to the point where, you can do both, do both. It's always been here. It's like a taboo word, or, and it's like there's this side and that side. No, we all do hair. And I hero that you're providing for your families no matter what. I'm not going to say you're a bad person for renting your chairs out or anything like that, but you have to be sensible. Do you know one thing I've realized is who rents their chairs out for £50 a day? You can't. If flushing the toilet and having 4 coffees is 50 quid.
Yeah.
You are undervaluing what you have created.
Yeah.
And that is drowning the market. Everybody should charge a rate that suits them. And for the risk they're taking of taking on all those bills and you leaving. When you leave, we've still got to pay for that space. So there are all these things that you think, well, why aren't we charging £200 a day for that space? Why? Why not? Maybe because you don't believe you can.
I think as hairdressers, we all undervalue ourselves so massively in all aspects.
Yeah, we've been taught to.
Yeah.
Because, I was just a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Sophia Hill would change that one. No.
Yeah.
She's like, that's self-belief. Yeah. She's the power queen. She showed a lot of people that you can be anything you like. Yeah. And I admire that.
Yeah. Sophia's a massive influence in so many people's lives, and she's, when you see her on social media and a lot of the sticks she's took as well over the years.
Oh, she loves it.
Does she?
Of course she does. She's tough as nails. She knows what she's doing.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. She's a risk taker.
Yeah.
And the people admire that.
Yeah.
And she's doing incredible things that people never thought of. She's innovative.
Innovative.
Yeah.
It's a horrible word.
Oh, well, I mumble all the time. Sometimes my brain speaks quicker than my mouth. And that's when I'm on stage, I jump stories. I'm a storyteller. I jump. I say, yeah, man, I love that. Sometimes I get to the point. But so I mean, going back to the AI, it's a must. You must have that.
Yeah.
But what if you could then give that to the independent stylists at home in their garden, in their built place, or they could carry a little iPad around to their houses where they're going, and it's their till system, it's their consultation system, it's their diary, it's the lookbook, it's everything on there with AI.
Yeah.
And they can make money, extra money, and provide better products for their stylists, their customers at the same time. And then one of us will send it out via their order. But also, how do they get paid? I think they should get 100% of that profit. That's just something I'm coming up with.
Wow, tell you what, I can't wait to see that one.
That's kind of cool. I mean, do you know like these Vish?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why have you got it? Like that is, we're all sustainable salons, and this hardware is a weighing scale, but it keeps all your information to a pinpoint accuracy. There's no mistaking it. There's no errors, and it's completely on weight, saving you money every year. And also, the belief system of what they brought out is where everybody that comes in is charged the same money, but yet you might use more product. So we have a service charge, and the service charge is always the same because it's a retouch. But if you have to then use more color than you did the previous one, that's unfair. And some people, I've actually gone into their businesses and realized that you're losing money doing that client. You make money on that client because you only had like 80% density. If you had 110% density, you've had to use more color. So you charge for the extra color. And that system tells you, we're not guessing anymore. So it makes it easier for you to make money as well, or be more sensible with the money.
It's a no-brainer, really, that mindset.
It is, but I think every color house should have it. We happen to go somewhere else to get it. Your color house should provide that. The color house is only winning if you are. If you're closing down your salon and you're using accounts, so they need to then all have their own and have their and it's data, okay? They're feeding back the data. So they're gonna hate me for that because theoretically we're asking them to use less color. But in a sense, I think it's very important to then have a profitable salon because it's going to stay open.
Yeah, exactly.
So give them that.
It's win-win.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So colour houses, everybody have one of these.
Get excited, colour houses. Come, let's do it. So we've seen very recently, and there's been a lot going on social media. The VAT situation in salons is a breaking point for some people. It is a big issue. And it's make or break. So I know recently the SOS Save Our Salon campaign, you all went to London, and there was some amazing groups of people turned up. Where are you at with that? How did that start? How did you get involved?
I didn't like it.
Okay.
I actually really, really wanted to turn off to it because it was everywhere. And I thought, what are you doing? You are being a self-fulfilling prophecy here and creating discomfort in my business. Okay. In creating in everyone's business, driving fear that all of this is happening. And I thought, and I couldn't feed it. And I was thinking, if you're going to do that, it's going to happen. And then I kind of came around to, well, that's just a fear. And let's reassure my team that everything's okay. Because everything is okay.
Yeah.
You're just going to earn a little bit less money, a little bit. But as long as you're profitable, obviously, if you were just scraping by then, it's going to be a lot harder for you. And I've seen my friends' businesses shut around me, but they're happier.
Okay.
They're happier because they've now moved to another salon that they can earn their own independent money. So everything's happening for a reason. Maybe your salon wasn't working because it wasn't supposed to work. You didn't have it. We didn't get it to another level. There's circumstances around everybody, but this would have then shook you to realize what you actually, the route that you want to go into. And the market is massive saturation. It's saturated. There's 20 hairdressing salons on one main road in my town. 20. That's huge incentive. 20. Everybody wants the idea of a salon.
Yeah.
But it's the hardest thing you could ever do. To manage and run people and satisfy their needs is so difficult. And you're always worrying about the VAT, you're worrying about this, you're worrying about that. And, am I charging if I can't put my price up and stuff? And it's, this person's leaving, this person's having a baby, this one's doing this one's not turning up, this one's late. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I don't have these problems. I don't have any of these problems. They rise now and again. The little bits happen again. It's more because of someone going through a hard time at home. So but I've got my salon to a place where it's comfortable like that. So I didn't fear it. And I was like, why are you creating this fear? And then I actually listened to it and I thought, bloody hell, because there was no idea. It was like, what are we going to do? This is becoming more difficult. But
We have a restaurant in the garden who's paying 20% that as well and got a massive team.
Yeah.
It's not just us. It's not just us. It's the entire country that's suffering from its new changes. But they had to do something rather than nothing. They could have done it better. I don't vote. Might be really bad for people, but same ass, different cheek. They all lie, and we've just got to go, okay, that's what we're dealt with. Let's find a solution. Or we can sit in it. Let's get ideas. Let's find ideas. Let's be the bigger minded person of like, okay, let's adapt. So I found a way to adapt, and I started developing this from lockdown when I realized that everybody's now going to be an independent hairdresser because we were all cutting hair at home. Anybody that said they didn't do that, cut hair at home, liar. And we all did it, and we realized that 50 quid went in our pocket.
Yeah.
None of it. It's like, I didn't do any of that, probably. I need people, like whatever. And I just realized that people were going to get used to this idea.
Yeah.
Working from home. It was massive. But people, as people, we need people in the team and everything else. So I just developed a plan of how do we get above the curve of the independent stylists, and how do we pay our people better? And money comes in, how you distribute it changes. That's all it is. So the government have rules, and you abide by the rules. If the rule is they can earn under 90,000, okay, let's make that happen. But it goes through your till, not mine.
Yeah.
And then you pay me to have this luxury space that you can come and work from. Yeah. So I've developed something where it works for us all, but I charge a premium rate because I'm a premium seller.
Yeah.
And we're all comfortable. And I actually like the idea of that the ownership's on you.
Yeah.
That for me was the biggest change that I've come up with. And that's something I want to see developed and nurtured. And what's in it for them? What's in it for me? It has to be a two-way street. Because some months I'm down $2,000. I lost this month because the aircon went down. That was $8,000 to fix. Yeah. You're paying for the circumstances may come out of your control in the future. Your water tank bursts or you have a pop. It's thousands to fix. So if they think you're earning all this money, you never. The margin's tighter. We is SOS. And I think the 10% would be lovely. I don't think the 10% is as much as they think it is. A lot of people go, well, if you earn 750, well, you get 75 grand back. Where did you do your maths? It doesn't happen. It's not that much. But my biggest thing about why it's so beautifully done is because of the raise in the wages for the younger people has become, I was on 35 quid a week. Yeah, I'm talking about the dark ages. Yeah. But what I'm now talking about is these guys are turning over a huge learning salary, which costs us £6,000 each person to train them on a Monday in our own time. And I put a lot of training here, a lot. And I have always the support from my teams because I want my team to feel supported and the place to feel nice and be in a service. And they're a great part of our service and a great part of our future. On the other side of things, if we become so limited edition, there's only going to be a few of us left. Well, now we can charge a more premium rate. In America, they're charging $200, $300 for a haircut. In America. Wow. Why are we so behind? They're having to. You have to. A latte should be about 10 quid.
Yeah.
But they fear putting the price up in fear that people aren't going to do it. But everyone's wages have just gone up. Everybody's wages are the highest they've ever been. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's more money. Mm. So people can now afford you. It's how you look at things. Yeah. You've got to switch it around. Yeah. 10% will be lovely, but I think they're pissing in the wind. I don't think they're ever going to do it because, even Ireland, they used to have this way of working. Now they're putting their VAT up. Yeah. But now I've had other countries. Do you know how many other countries are doing the same thing as we are? God, loads. Yeah, 6 or 7 reached out to me having their protests.
Okay.
Some of them are paying 27% VAT. Wow. Some are paying 22%. Where taxes will always have to be paid. And it's just them. You just got to earn more money. Yeah. You got to try harder. Yeah. You got to get more bums on seats. You got to put your prices up. You just got to do it. Yeah. And but people are, in a good position now. They're getting more wages. The younger generation are richer. So attract the younger generation back into your salon? Are you focusing on the old money or the new money? Focus on the new money a bit more. Just move your pivot. Just pivot to where you think it's coming from. So all these assistants and all these people in education have now got money where they never had it. So, and they will afford luxury hair because they're Instagram famous, right? They need good hair. So it's all these little things really come into play with the Save Our Salons. But the biggest thing was the community. It was Toby Dickens that put it together, and honor to him because he dedicated everything to this. He should have an award for this.
Really?
Oh, he is working tiresomely whilst running a business, and
You don't believe that, do you, Daniel?
No. I speak very directly to him, very open about it. But he did ask me to go on Instagram and start saying about Save Our Salons. I was like, and it was all a little bit sad. It felt sad, right? And I didn't want to be that advocate for that, and I didn't want my team to think that as well. And I thought, but I need to get behind this. You can't just put your head in the sand all the time, Dan. If you don't vote today, you're going to vote for your people because they're your people. That's your community of hairdressers. We all cut hair, and whether you're barbers or self-care. So I went, I'm going to turn up. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a stand. I'm going to turn up and I'm going to post about it. I'm going to show people that there are people struggling out there. I'm struggling. Of course I'm struggling. Things aren't as good as they are. They're okay. I'm happy with okay.
Yeah.
But I'm prepared to change as well. And I don't think the government are going to be able to change this. But it was a lovely, lovely experience to go there. I stood with Satya. Yeah, cutting hair out there. I mean, I've thrown straight into it. I was cutting Toby's hair. Toby sat down. He was like, "You can cut my hair." I'm like, "Good job, got my kit." I take my kit everywhere. I take my kit on holiday.
Really?
Yeah, I took it to Peru. I took it to when I crossed the Arctic.
You never know when you might need it.
Take a picture of me cutting hair in the ice. Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
But everywhere I go on holiday, I'm looking for the next opportunity. I will visit a salon and introduce myself. I'm an educator, and it's took me across the world.
Yeah.
You're connecting with another person. And I get to fly to different countries and teach. I love it. Yeah, I love doing it.
So where are they up to now with the Save Our Salons? Do you know where they've got to progress-wise?
No. Again, I put my head in the sand because I've got a lot to focus on myself.
Yeah.
It's done. It's in the process. There'll be more processes. And you know what? If it wasn't for them, nothing would get done. If it weren't for Toby, nothing would be getting done or Colette. These are two brainchilds that really care about the business side of things.
Yeah.
And there's a big community in the, when I joined the community of Save Our Salons, or Salon Employees Association, I remember speaking to Toby. He did a talk at one of my Schwarzkopf events. And I sat there and I listened to him. And I said at the end, why don't we have a march? Just throwing it out there. And then that actually happened.
And then he did it.
And then
It was all your fault.
Shit. I remember saying it to him. I said, let's go on our horses. So I don't know where the horses came from. I ran away with myself. But it was amazing. And it's amazing that we all came together and we actually made an effort and we all turned up. And how many other people went, I wish I was there?
Yeah.
So maybe there's a second one coming.
Yeah.
But something does have to change. It can't continuously be in this hard. But whilst that change is going on, what are you doing about it?
Yeah.
You have to take action. You have to take accountability. This is the story that you got. This is what's happening. Do something about it.
Yeah.
Or just sit there and wait for this. Oh. Yeah. Because April will be very closely attached to us. We're 30% through this year. What have you done with it? We're 30% in. Yeah. April is approaching us now. It's already there. It's there. And it's going to happen again. What are you going to do? Just let it crush you? Or are you going to go, right, actually, let's just close everything down and go and do my thing somewhere. You always have your pool of clients, right? That's your business within the business. Look after your business. And my team know that as well. This is your business within the business. I had a girl that worked for me for 12 years. Oh, and there's your client list. Thank you so much for serving me. Thank you so much. Good luck with that. And I didn't chase one of her business. I didn't chase her business. That's hers. There's too much of that going on.
I've never heard anybody do that openly and just pass their clients over. It's usually,
They worked for me for 12 years.
Those clients aren't usually, it's it's my salon. You got those clients in my salon, you're not taking those clients. And it's,
Why do I want to crush that person?
yeah.
No.
outlook.
Yeah, and then do you know what? It will repay you. It will repay you. I mean, I've taken on a new stylist, and they kept all the clients. You know, that poor girl. Give her a fighting chance. We've all got a fighting chance.
Yeah.
You know, that's she's got mortgage, she's got children. You literally cut her dead. It's not fair.
Got a great outlook on it. I heard that before. I really like it though. Okay, let's talk about education. Because I know we're both really passionate about education. It's something that, I know you've done so much of, and you've helped so many people in the industry over the years. It's something I'm really passionate about. I educated for years in the college system. And, it worries me now. It worries me where we're going with education, because there's still so many really good educators, where it's so saturated with so many other people that are finding that as an easy access to money. And they're not seeing the passion that you should have behind education if you're going to be good at it. So, what brought you into education to start with? How did you get into that side of it?
Because if I have the confidence to pass the knowledge on, that means I'm growing and I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And I wish someone had taught me. I wish someone had taken the time to teach me properly. And I started doing it in colleges. And that was my first gig. So I would come do some haircuts. I just adored it. I loved it. And I teach very differently. I am very unique to my style. It's my style. No one else can copy it. That's me. And I teach with emotion. I teach with accessing the memory. And people always remember how you make them feel. And that's half of the job done.
Yeah.
And then if you can back that up with excellent control of the scissor and comb, I focus just on hair cutting. I used to be a colorist. Yeah. I started in barbering and I moved to hairdressing. Then I went coloring. I always leave the other stuff to someone else. If they're better at it, let them do it. I started teaching hair systems. We replaced hair replacements. And then you've got these other guys that live and dream it. I'm not even going to try and compete with you now. I'm not even going to pretend. I'm in the community still and I love it.
Yeah.
But no, you well surpassed me. I just really love doing.
Yeah.
You see I was passionate about it.
Absolutely.
But education for me, I love teaching from the ground up. I teach stuff that's going to sell, like a handbag. Like these are haircuts of trends. I'm going to teach you exactly that trend that you can then go transferable skills back behind your chair, put that on your client and know why. I teach the why about what we do as well. The why did you hold that? Why did you do this? Why this? Why? We're curious children.
Yeah.
My son says to me, why dad? Because I said so. But no, he wants to learn.
Yeah.
So I tap into that and we make it more exciting, more fun. And I remember one of my guys going on a cutting course. It's a really big company. It took 9 hours to cut a bob. Get out.
Yeah.
I said, come on. It doesn't take 9 hours. It's not real. That's if you want to be a very ego-driven hairdresser and so you're up there. I think you should just learn very, very, very commercial stuff. Work commercial to make money.
Yeah.
And that's what I teach. And I uncomplicate it. I take my own ego out me looking wicked as a hairdresser because I'm flipping scissors.
You do look wicked though.
Oh, I don't know. But it's been real.
Yeah.
You're teaching everybody. And I can teach someone to cut hair within weeks. I can teach that because it's how you teach. Yeah. And it's the understanding, the patience, the time. And I've done that now. I've been an educator. I've been an educator since I did that college course. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was touring the world doing it, and that got boring. Getting on a plane, going to a hotel, teaching that day, coming back, the travel a bit became monotonous. The actual teaching, never. I am as bright if I've taught 10 sessions as I've done 2.
Okay.
I take care. I lock myself in. You're here to learn. I'm going to give you my best. You're going to get my best, no matter what's going on in my life as well. Sometimes I filters in. Yeah. About what I say. Yeah. Well, I'll go through a hard time, guys. It's really shit a minute, but I'm trying my best. But everybody I'm very, very open, you know, and I have someone who's never picked up a pair of scissors for someone who's done it for like 30 years. They're all going to learn something. So I teach the foundations, you know, all about shapes, you know, the circle, triangle, square, you know, the graduations, the 3 techniques, you know, layer, graduation, the line. Well, what are they? Well, once you know these and you master these, it's like you got this toolbox that just opens up and you can do anything.
Yeah.
But there's always that penny drop moment. I just wish they taught it in college. Colleges will be a thing in the past. Colleges will shut down.
When did you see that happening?
Now.
Okay.
There's no one coming through. There's no one being paid. There's no one to teach. So all these independent colleges will shut their doors. The ones that have focused maybe on salons. 93% salons said they're not going to take an assistance on. So let's go back to the SOS thing then. Yeah. That's what I'm more passionate about. And we said about the high value, I did digress. I want to save the next generation. Yeah. Because it's so important to the growth of this business. I did flip side it and say, well, if there's less of us, we can charge more money. You know, but it's in reality, no, we need these other people to have an opportunity where I had an opportunity. Otherwise, I'd still live on the streets or I'd be dead like my brother.
Wow.
You know, because we didn't have the opportunity and someone bring us in and give us it where we weren't academic and we didn't have anything else. I didn't want to work in the kebab house that I was working in. We were in a meat factory. I was born to be different. I was born to do more. And we bring that out in someone where we're a bunch of misfits. I think there's a lot of people, hairdressers, we just didn't fit in, and we find somewhere we can fit in, and feel loved, cherished, and safe. And that for me is why education and SOS, Salon Employees Association, that's my heartbeat. That's what's journeying me. Because if I've got no one to teach, I don't have an income either.
Yeah.
And I've got no one to teach, so I teach for free sometimes. Yeah. People reach out to me all the time. Can I come to one-to-one? Can I come and watch me work? Absolutely.
Wow.
Come and assist me for the day. You could charge you for that.
You could charge him fortunes for that.
What?
People charge fortunes for it.
I can make money doing that.
That's going to take you to your million. There you go.
No, million turnover, not million profit.
Well, you know what I mean? I mean, that's the people charge.
Yeah, it's really saddening that they moved that bar a little bit too high, and they moved the wages to follow it. And that's the biggest mistake they've done. So if that 10% VAT helps us do that, but no, it's never. They're not going to take away. What they're going to have to do is reinvest in us to teach them. But I feel that's moving on as well. So the independent colleges, they will all shut down. There's no one to teach. The government colleges, they will stay open because they're full-time courses. But what I think that's we're going to do is become opening up, being able to teaching our own salons. We wouldn't have somebody come to us providing that service. You know, there isn't that at the heart of England. They do that a little bit more. So these things are going to move. These things are going to change. But people don't teach their team. And then they expect them to be amazing hairdressers. They don't teach their mind. They don't teach their heart. And definitely don't teach them skill. But then they expect them then to have a job at the end of it. And when they are now getting paid this premium rate, and all my girls are worth it, they are worth it. I wish I could pay everybody more. I wish I could.
Yeah.
And I would. You know, it's like we are very transparent with what everyone earns in my salon. Everybody knows what everybody earns.
How does that work? Does it go all right?
It changes their perception.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And you know, you put yourself in their perspective. You have your own perception, their perspective. Well, they think you're minted, but I'm 43. I've grafted. But when you're 43, you'll have exactly what I've got. You know, because your business is within the business, you have the same opportunities. Except for you got a little bit more security than I have. You know, I'm risking my home.
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely. So how often do you educate now? How often do you get?
Not as much as I used to.
Okay.
Not as much as I used to at all. No. There's peaks and troughs in everything. Everything has its thing. If I'm open and honest, you know, it's I'm teaching probably 20 to 30 days a year, whereas I used to do 130 because it was a trend and people had disposable income.
Yeah.
People don't have the income. Salons haven't got enough money to invest anymore. The biggest thing that falls off the wagon is education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you see the biggest gap in education across hairdressing at the minute? Do you think it's just a general thing right across the board? Or do you see some things falling down much further? So, cutting, it's an art form, and it's not something that everybody can do. And I think when you come through
That's weird.
the college system, it's difficult.
My hairdresser can't cut.
Yeah. Especially short hair. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't get taught a short haircut on women
Yeah, why is that?
anymore like you used to.
They're weird, isn't it?
So many new, young, fresh hairdressers are terrifying.
It's like teaching a plumber how to plumb a toilet but not a tap.
Yeah,
Like
crazy.
It's weird. It is. I find it bonkers. I do find it bonkers. But me, I went out and learnt it myself.
Yeah.
I didn't actually enjoy the process of college at all. It wasn't fun. I did find it educational. I think we did about 10 perms. I haven't done a perm since qualified. I've never done a perm. I'm not interested. I focus on what I want. Focus on what I want to do, what excites me.
Yeah.
Because, if I'm excited and I'm passionate, I'm magnetized. Again, what am I a magnet for? I'm going to attract what I want because I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I didn't get excited about color, but I learned it and I can still do it now. He give me, and then the new techniques. What I love about trends is that, the color became the trend and trends changed. In the 60s, it was the haircut. Yeah. And then now it's the color.
Yeah.
But now things are changing. It's the synergy between them both. It's being able to do everything, have this beautiful, and we have to do everything because we can't just pigeonhole ourselves because we need as much as possible.
Yeah.
So learn how to do men's grooming. And people are feared of that because, I'm not going to be as good as that barber. Well, they're elite at it, and they're better than me. 100%. I wouldn't even compete with a barber, but I service men's hair.
Yeah.
I have men come into my salon, they pay that price to have their hair cut, and but they within my limited skills.
Yeah.
But can I do a skin fade up here and stuff like that? I don't want to. So if you want that, go there. Yeah. If you or you come here because I'll give you the service, and I'll give you a really beautiful haircut. And I learned how to do these other edges and things. I have to self-develop as well.
Yeah.
So self-development, it's on you. No one else can teach you sometimes, and if it's not available. But yeah, I think once you take it back in-house, you're as good as your leader. So you better be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's dog eat dog at the minute. And we thought we all came together in COVID.
Yeah.
We'll look after you, we'll come in community. That's going to change. I'm going to poach your clients. I'm going to poach your staff. I'm going to start poaching. Like every other business poaches. Why can't we poach? Why can't we make your stylist an offer? I do have a guy that I will never poach from. We have a mutual respect.
Yeah.
But if I will start poaching, because if we can't get new generations coming from, how are we going to grow? How are we going to grow? I'm going to have to go and find you. I'm going to have to make you a good offer and sell you my space rather than that space. Oh, it's going to get doggies off.
Throw that into.
But in times of hardship and adversity, the strongest survive, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not adapting, my friends have gone into other salons and they're now renting a space. They're paying a premium rate for it because they charge premium prices as well. I think that's fair. They're not. 50 years ago, it was £50 a chair, £35 a chair. Or not 50 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Why is it still the same? But yet all your bills electric go up, so just coming back to that. But yeah, where did we go?
Yeah, I'm just thinking back.
How much did you rent the chair for?
25 quid a day.
Okay, and now it's 35 for you.
It's crazy, that, isn't it?
Yeah, come on. Oh, come on.
I mean, that's...
You pay 6 quid for a latte.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, should be 10. Really? So I think you should be charging between £100 and £200. Because if you can make 500, you'll come out with £300. And that's unbattable money as well. Yeah, I have an algorithm that I've worked out of what's worth more to you, time or money? Or what if we could give you both? Time and money for the working mothers. Yeah, or the other people that want money but still want to be an entrepreneur in other things and have time for that as well. So a 25-hour working week, that'd be nice. 50 grand a year, that'd be nice. I have that system, I've made it.
I know how to get there.
I'm seeing a franchise there. I'm seeing you can.
Oh, it's called Hotel Head.
That's to you. That's take you to your 2 million next year.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Yeah. But people are scared of it.
Yeah.
Because it's on, the ownership's on you.
Yeah.
But we want both. We want both. And it all comes down to education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Education.
100%.
Everything is down to teach them what they didn't know.
Yeah.
Now they know.
Yeah.
And they're confident in that now. So even when we have independent hairdressers, you're not just independent, create a community of education around you. If you are having a free right here, education's free. Education's free. Doesn't matter if there's 100 people in the room or 5 people in the room. I teach the same.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
What a great mindset to have. It's all coming very nicely, isn't it? What trends do you see coming? What, we see your cutting edge stuff, and we see some of the incredible shapes and some of the images that you create. What do you see next?
I don't see anything.
Do you not?
No.
Do you not look into the future and think,
Oh, I pretend I would. Or like, yeah, I'll tell you what, this is going to come out. I can see this come. I have no idea. I wait for America to do it and then I'll copy it.
right, okay.
Yeah?
Are they lead down?
Yeah. I am a commercial hairdresser. I will see a haircut if I don't know. There's nothing I can't do. There's not a haircut I can't do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you work out the geometry, the shapes, how it's done, the sectioning pattern, and then you just go and do it. So when the shag came out, I was in fear of God. I was like, please don't bring that over here. And then all of a sudden you've got one in your chair. You go, quick, learn it. It's just a layer. It's just a layer. It's just a short layer. Yeah. Oh, it's cut from the front, not the back. Oh, okay. And then you put it on her hair. She can't style it ever. Hates her hair for about 6 weeks. 6 months as it grows out those short layers because it looks cool. It's like a concept car. It looks great. It's not practical.
Yeah.
And I'm running a business. And my business is my talent and my people. So depending on where you are and where your land is, depends on what your trends will be, because it's dictated by what your customers want.
Yeah.
So, but having that more upskills, and I'm learning that the layer became the trend. So it's actually a technique that becomes a trend rather than that. And then the line might, because people start having more bobs and straight haircuts, less layers. It's everything just moves organically.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of know what's coming.
And it's been before most of it's been before.
We haven't discovered anything. We're just reinventing it. And I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love decades of fashion. When I was on a Great British Hairdresser, they went, "You don't know your fashion?" And I'm like, "No, I don't, mate. I don't know any celebrity names. I don't know this. Sorry." Like, whoa. And it was like, buy this book, Decades of Fashion. And I studied this book and realized the first ever hairdresser that was ever printed about, his name was Champagne. He was a French hairdresser for the kings and queen. He's the first hairdresser.
Right.
That's when hairdresser was invented.
Right.
You were a hairdresser. So they used to dress the wigs, and for the kings and queens, it was the first one to be written about. But then you realize that haircuts and short haircuts and bobs have been around for years, but so soon then reinvented the education for it and made it a trend. And it was amazing. It's like the story. Know your history.
Yeah.
I found it fascinating.
Yeah, 100%. What's next? What's next for you? What can we see?
Oh, I'm gonna get rid of Daniel Granger. I'm gonna crush him. No, I'm not really. I am going to use the skills that I've learned along the way to adapt my business. So if I have a rebrand, I love hotels.
Okay.
When I go to a hotel, I've earned really good money to go there, and I upgrade my hotels. And I want the experience. I want looked after. I want everything done for me, because I do everything for everyone else. So I want to call my salon Hotel Hair.
Right, okay.
Or Seri and Granger, my business partner of 18 years. No one knows about Seri. No one knows about Philippe.
Yeah.
But he's there holding me up all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to put his name on it because he's got a family. It's not just about me. It's never been about just me. I've been the catalyst to get there and the darer, but he's allowed me to do that by holding the ship all the time. So it's Seri and Granger, Hotel Hair by Seri and Granger. I'm also then looking into other premises within cities to open up then independent hairdressers. So rentable suites.
Okay. Premium thing now, isn't it?
Premium suites though, because I think there's a lot of ideas out there, but I've taken and captured all of them, and you know I've studied their businesses and what they're doing really well, maybe what they could do better, and then I put it all into one little pie and gone, right, that's going to be my brand, and you're going to want to come there. But it's all about investing in people as well. It's not just there's a room.
Okay.
Good luck. No. It's about building the community, building the education, getting them to drive, getting them to do incredible things together, and make it feel like a salon. You know, because what ultimately do they need? Client.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's just a rentable space, you're not really kind of advertising that it's a salon.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it should organically help each other. And yeah, there's a lot of rules, regulations around this, and people are going to go, oh, you can't do that. You're killing the salon.
It's going on now anyway, isn't it?
Going to happen to your, you know, you got to move with the times and get excited by it.
Yeah.
But if you can all earn good money and all do it, then just adapt.
Yeah.
You know, so I think my next year's business. I'm going to teach you business and mindset. I'm over in Berlin next weekend. And we're talking about magnetic mindsets. Okay. I'm not actually cutting hair anymore. I'm working on you, so you can go and work on other things. Work on yourself more than anything in life.
So powerful.
Work on yourself. This is why I box, because now I'm accountable. I've got a goal, or I'm going to get battered. Yeah, I'm going to get in a ring, and I'm by myself. No one's coming to save me. No one's coming to help me. I've got 500 people watching me. Have you got better? And the way you get better is to drill something. Drill it, drill it, drill it until it just becomes muscle memory. Yeah. Then you're going to be, as long as you've done your best, doesn't matter if you win or lose. But you got to try.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that mindset. Love talking to you. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been brilliant. Thank you, Daniel.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.